Alright, but we're going to look at the Unit 5 and 6 review. This will probably be in 2 parts, maybe 3, depending on how long. I don't want the videos to be too long. Anyway. So we're looking at Unit 5 is Systems of Equations. So we're going to look at first solving systems by graphing. And systems of equation, as you know, is just 2 equations. And where the equations, when you graph them, when you graph the 2 lines, the intersection is the solution. Alright, so on this first number 1 here, these are both in slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. The coefficient of x is your slope, and then the constant here is your y-intercept, where the line's going to cross the y-axis. So we're going to graph the first one here. My y-intercept is -1, so I go to -1, and let's color this line red. Alright, so this one's going to be red. My y-intercept's -1, and my slope is positive 2/3. So from my y-intercept, I go up 2 and to the right 3, and I have a point. And I can do that again, up 2 to the right 3, up 2 to the right 3. And I can do the opposite to go to the other side. So I'm going to go down 2 to the left 3, down 2 to the left 3, down 2 to the left 3. So now this is the line for that equation. Alright, for my second equation here, my y-intercept's +4, and my slope is -1. So that means I'm going to go -1. You're going to go down 1 and to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, and you can just keep going. And you can do the opposite, go up 1 to the left 1. And we're going to have our line here. And my solution is this point where they intersect. So my solution is going to be 3, 1. Okay. If we look at number 2, this is in standard form. So to graph it, I need to get it in slope-intercept form. So in other words, I need to isolate the y variable. So I'm going to subtract 2x and take it to the other side. So this equation is going to be y equals -2x plus 8. Okay? So if I go to 8, it's my y-intercept, and my slope is -2 or -2/1. So I go down 2 to the right 1, down 2 to the right 1, and I'm going to continue this line on out by doing my slope down to the right 1. And so here's your line. Alright, the other equation is x equals 5. And remember, when we just have one variable, that means it's going to be either horizontal or vertical. This says x equals 5, so it means the x-axis, I cross it at 5. So we're going to cross the x-axis at 5. So if I'm crossing it, that gives me a vertical line. Okay? And my line, if it was straight, it crosses right here is your intersection at 5, -2 is my solution. Okay? Alright, This says solve the system's equation using the substitution. All right, so substitution, that means we're going to replace something with something else when we substitute. So what we're going to do on this one, if you have a variable isolated, you're halfway there, okay? So when you're using substitution method, you want to put one of your equations to where the variable is isolated, okay? So this is saying that y is this. So in this equation, I'm going to substitute and put this here for this y. So we're going to have 3x plus 19 equals, in the other equation, 5x plus 33. All right, so all I did was take this blue y and substitute it over here in the red equation. Okay, and then you're going to solve for x, because now I only have one variable, x. So I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides, and I'm going to subtract 19 from both sides. So I get negative 2x, this cancels, bring down your equal sign, and 33 minus 19 is, that's 20, so 14. Divide by negative 2, so x is negative 7. So now we know what x is. We need to find out what is y. So now I know what that is. I can substitute it in either equation. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to substitute negative 7 on for x. So this is y equals 5 times negative 7 is negative 35 plus 33. So y equals negative 2. Okay, so your solution is negative 7, negative 2. All right. On this one, I don't have a variable isolated, so I need to pick one of the equations to isolate the variable. I'm going to pick this one because it's almost isolated. So what I'm going to do is just swap places with these. When the 23 comes over, it becomes plus 23. And when the negative y goes to the other side, it's plus y. All right, so now I'm going to take this. It says that 6x plus 23 is y. So I'm going to replace this y with 6x plus 23. So 3 times y becomes 3 times 6x plus 23. Oops. Equals negative 9. So 8x plus 18x plus 69 equals negative 9. And combine your like terms. 18x and 8x is 26x. And I'm going to subtract 69 from both sides. So 26x equals negative 78. And if you divide by 26, you would get negative 3. So if x is negative 3, I can go back here and substitute negative 3. So it's negative 18 plus 23 equals y. So 5 equals y. So my solution is the point negative 3, 5. All right. Now we're looking at elimination method. Elimination method is when you look at the two and see how you can just eliminate by adding, subtracting a variable and canceling it out. And they have to have the same coefficient. All right, you're going to either add them or subtract them. So in this case, if I subtract this x minus x, they cancel out. But I have to do the rest of it. Negative 2y minus 3y is negative 5y. And 10 minus 5 is 5. So y equals negative 1. So now that I know what y is, I can go back to either one of the equations and replace y with negative 1 and solve for my x. So x equals 8. So your solution is 8, negative 1. Alright, so this case was pretty simple because you had the same coefficient for one of your variables. Alright, this one, they have the same coefficient, negative 3 and negative 3. So to get rid of it, I need to add. But if I add, look what happens. Negative 3 plus negative 3, well, that would give me negative 6y. So instead of adding, I'm going to subtract. So if I say negative 3 minus negative 3, then that ends up canceling out because it becomes negative 3 plus 3. Alright, so they're gone, and I'm left with 2x minus negative 5x. Well, that gives me 7x. Because remember, when you subtract a negative, that's the same thing as adding. And then 9 minus 30 equals negative 21. And if I divide by 7, I get negative 3. Alright, so if I know what x is, I can go in either equation and substitute the x with negative 3 and then solve for y. So this is negative 6 minus 3y equals 9. So now I'm going to add your 6. So negative 3y equals 15. So y equals negative 5. So my solution is negative 3, negative 5. Okay. All right, let's go to the, we're at 13 minutes. Let's go to page 2. All right, write a systems of equation using the given information and solve. So basically, they're giving us verbal expressions for equations, and we're going to write 2 equations based on the information. So the sum of that means we're adding 2 numbers is 30. So 2 numbers. We're going to say those 2 numbers are x and y. So x plus y equals 30. And then it says, and their difference, so that means subtracting, is 12. So if I say x minus y equals 12. So you can use either substitution or elimination, whichever one you think works best. I'm going to eliminate by subtracting the second equation. X minus x cancels out. And then we have y minus negative y. So that'll give me 2y. And then 30 minus 12 is 18. So y equals 9. So now I'm going to replace y with 9. And I'm going to solve for x. So x equals 21. Okay, so my answer, y equals 9, x equals 21. Okay, all right, this one's a little bit more involved. The sum of 2 numbers is 25, so x plus y, those are my 2 numbers, They're unknown, but the variables represent the two numbers. And it says one number is twice the second number plus 7. So x equals twice the second number, 2y, plus 7. Alright, so since I have a variable isolated, I'm going to use substitution and replace the x in this equation with 2y plus 7. Alright, so that represents my x plus y equals 25. So combine your like terms. 3y plus 7 equals 25. 3y subtract 7 equals 18. So y equals 6. So now I know y equals 6, so I'm going to go back here and say x equals 2 times 6 plus 7. So 12 plus 7 is 19. So x equals 19 and y equals 7. All right. And remember, you can pause and stop this video anytime to write down what you need to on your copy. Or you can rewind, go back if you need some clarification. All right. Use it as a study tool for that EOC. EOC is Tuesday. All right. Gabby and Sydney bought some pens and pencils. So Gabby bought 4 pens and 5 pencils for that much. So we're going to say that X is pens and Y is pencils. Make sure you define which is which, okay? Alright, so 4 pens for 4X plus 5 pencils, 5Y. The cost of that is $6.71. So X and Y represents how much they cost, okay? And then Sydney bought 5 pens and 3 pencils, and she paid $7.12. Alright, so now you can do substitution or elimination. On this one, I'm going to eliminate, but I can't add or subtract because my coefficients aren't the same. But what I can do is multiply, and I'm going to multiply, let's see, I'm going to multiply this one by 5 and this one by 4, and that'll give me 20x, right? And then I can subtract them. So when I multiply, I'm going to get 20x plus 5 times 5y is 25y equals, let's see, that'd be 5, 3, 33. 33.71. 33.55. And then this one is 20x. 4 times 3y is 12y. And then 4 times 7, 12. Well, 4 times 2 is 8. And 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 7 is 28. So there's our new equations, and I'm going to subtract. 20x minus 20x cancels out. 25y minus 12y leaves me 13y. And then 33.55 minus 28.48. Well, 8 from 5 is going to be 7. And that's 0. And then borrow. So that's 5. So 507. And then I'm going to divide by 13. And that's going to give me, let's see. Oops. Oops, oops. That is going to give me 39 cents. So y equals 0.39. So that means that y's pencil, my pencils cost 39 cents each. So now I can take that and plug it in one of my original equations for y. So 4x plus 5 times 39 cents equals 671. So 4x plus, let's see, what's this going to be? 39 cents times 5. It's going to give me $1.95. 1.95 equals 671. And then you're going to subtract $1.95 from 671. So 4x equals 476. And then you're going to divide by 4. And you're going to get x equals $1.19. So your pens, which cost a little more, are going to be $1.19 each. Okay. And let's look at this one. Now, a lot of times on these word problems, one of your equations is going to deal with money, and the other equation is going to deal with how many, the number of items. Okay? So a collection of dimes and nickels is worth $3.30. All right, so we're going to say that x is the number of dimes and y is the number of nickels. Okay, so how much is a dime worth? Well, it's worth 10 cents. So 10 cents times the number of dimes plus a nickel is 5 cents times the number of nickels. If you multiply 10 cents times how many dimes and then add multiplying 5 cents times however many nickels you have, it's going to total $3.30. Now the second says if there are 42 coins in all, so we have 42 coins and there some are nickels and some are dimes, how many of each kind of coin are there? So x is the number of dimes plus the number of nickels. In all are 42. Okay? Alright. I think instead of elimination, I'm going to do substitution. So I'm going to isolate the variable y and solve for y. So now I say that y is 42 minus x. So what we're going to do is replace the y in the other equation with 42 minus x. And then we're going to solve for x. So 0.10x plus 0.05 times 42 equals 210 minus 0.05x equals 330. So I'm going to combine my like terms. So 0.10 minus 0.05 is 0.05x. And then I'm going to take this and subtract it from both sides. So that cancels that out. So we have 330 minus 210 is 120. And then we're going to divide by 0.05. Oops, put wrong number there. 1.2 divided by 0.05 equals 24. So x equals 24. So I've got 24 dimes. And I'm going to plug in 24 here. So 24 plus y equals 42. I'm looking at my original equation, okay? And I'm going to subtract 24 from both sides. So y equals 18. So I got 24 dimes and 18 nickels. Okay? So remember, when on these word problems, most of the time if you got money, one equation is going to deal with money and your variable is going to represent the number of items, okay? Then so the second equation is going to be how many total items you have. All right, now, let's see. Solve each word problem using a system of equations. Use substitution or elimination. So one number added to 3 times another number is 24. So our numbers are going to be x and y, right? So one number, x, added to 3 times another, so 3y, is 24. And then the second equation is 5 times the first number, so 5x, added to 3 times the other is 36. So I'm going to use elimination and eliminate my y's by subtracting. So x minus 5x is negative 4x equals 24 minus 36 is going to be negative 12. Divide, so x equals 3. So my first number is 3. And then I can plug this in. 3 plus 3y equals 24. So 3y equals 21. So y equals 7. So the other number is 7. All right. David bought 3 DVDs for 4 books for $40 at a yard sale. Anna, okay, this is the word and here. So we're going to have DVDs. So let's say X is DVDs, number of DVDs. And Y is the number of books. Okay. So he bought 3 DVDs. So 3 times... Okay, so this is going to be the cost of a DVD. Alright, so 3 times the cost of a DVD plus 4 times the cost of a book is $40. Alright. Anna bought 1 DVD and 6 books for $18. How much did they cost? Alright, so I'm going to do substitution. Isolate this x. So instead of this equation, I'm going to have x equals 18 minus 6y. So I'm going to plug that in the first equation. I'm running out of room here. 3 times, I'm substituting 18 minus 6y plus 4y equals 40. So this is going to be 3 times 8, 20, 54 minus 18y plus 4y equals 40. So I'm going to subtract 54 on the other side. And my pen stopped. There we go. Combine your like terms. So negative 18 plus 4 is negative 14y equals 40 minus 54 is negative 14. So y equals 1. Okay. So the cost of a DVD is $1. And I can plug it back into this equation. So x is 1 plus 6y equals 18. So y equals 3. So a book cost $3. And I think this will be the last one for this video. It says, at the Holiday Valley Ski Resort, skis cost $16 to rent and snowboards cost $19. If 28 people rented on a certain day and the resort brought in $478, how many skis and snowboards were rented? Alright, so if 28 people rented, so we're going to say that skis are X and snowboards are Y. So, and that represents the number of them, alright? Because if you're $16 per ski plus $19 per snowboard, and they brought in $478. I also said that it was a total of 28 rentals, so X plus Y equals 28. Okay, so you can use substitution and isolate one of the variables here. So we're going to say X equals 28 minus Y. So if I plug that in, 16 times 28 minus Y plus 19y equals 478. So 16 times 28 is 448 minus 16y plus 19y equals 478. Alright, we're going to subtract this 448 over here. And then combine your like terms. Negative 16 and 19 is 3y equals 478 minus 448 is 30. So y equals 10. Alright, so y was snowboards. So we had 10 snowboards. And then we said that x is 28 minus y. Well, 28 minus 10 is 18. So we had 18 pairs of skis. Looks like chicken scratch. Alright, I'm going to stop here for this video. And we will pick it up looking at graphing inequalities. Okay? Alright. Tune in for part 2.